Riley, and today's video is actually going to be a day in the life. So as some of you may know, I am a genetic counselor. If you want to know what genetic counseling is, well, a little bit more information about what it is, check out this video right here. But today is really going to be a day in the life, work from home edition. So my job varies. Right now I go into the hospital about 2 to 3 days a week, and the other 2 days I am working from home. So when I'm working from home, it's primarily administrative work. So these would be things like calling out results, writing results letters, just doing all of the administrative stuff that I can get done without being in the hospital. For example, today it's about 8:58. Working from home, I typically I do like a 9 to 5 day. When I'm going into the hospital, I actually get there at about 8:15 and leave at like 5:30, depending on how busy the day was, because I do actually see inpatients. So I am an inpatient genetic counselor. I carry a beeper, and I'll get into that, what that is, a little bit later in the video. But right now it's 8:58. On Fridays, I have a 9 a.m. standing meeting. I'm a part of this patient resources working group, where essentially we're trying to create patient-friendly resources for after they receive a diagnosis, a rare diagnosis. So that's what we're working on. So let's get to this meeting that's in less than 1 minute now. I'll be back. So that 9 a.m. meeting is over. Today was my day to present patient resources that I've been working on. It's like a info sheet for different diagnoses, and like on that info sheet you put like a definition, common symptoms, some online resources that may be helpful to families. So today was my time to present that. And then actually towards the end of the meeting, one of my co-workers actually just got married, so we watched a portion of her wedding on Zoom. So this is the life of working from home, because other people's lives are continuing to go on, and you also want to be involved in that a little bit. So it was absolutely beautiful. I'm obsessed with weddings. So yeah, so now that's over. It's 10:01. Let's see what else I have planned for today. I definitely want to work on some patient letters. So in a patient letter, it's basically after you give them a diagnosis. Where I work, we send them letters where we discuss what the diagnosis is, what's the inheritance, what's the common symptoms, what type of doctors do they need to see, and we provide this to the patient so they always have it to look back on and to re-review what their diagnosis is. So I want to work on a couple of those, and then I also I think at 11:30 I'm scheduled to meet with a prospective GC student and just talk a little bit about my experiences, hear a little bit about her experiences, look at her resume maybe. And just to all of you who are applying to GC school, I know that this is it's prime time right now. It's prime time for applying to grad schools right now. If you ever want to have an informational session, feel free to email my YouTube email is on my page, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I can't let you shadow me. Where I work right now, we don't allow that. It's actually through a different avenue that you would be able to shadow GCs, but a quick 15-minute, 30-minute phone call, as long as it's permitting for my schedule and your schedule, I'm always happy to help, because I know how stressful it is during this application process. So after that, I have another Zoom meeting at 3, and that's for a different project. So GC Awareness Day is coming up. I think it's going to be this year either November 18th or 19th. I can't remember the exact date, but essentially that's a day where we are supposed to provide exposure for genetic counseling, and of course like honor the genetic counselors that are working and have practiced now or practiced before us, that have come before us and paved the way. So that's coming up, and that meeting at 3 is to think about how our hospital wants to honor that day. So I'm a part of that planning committee. So really Fridays are just Zoom meetings. For the past couple Fridays, I've been talking to students with those short like informational interviews, again writing letters, sending consent forms, those type of administrative tasks. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, I am an inpatient genetic counselor, which is a little different from outpatient in the sense that you don't have a set schedule. So typically I don't have a set schedule if I'm going to see a 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, 3 o'clock patient. From 9 to 5 I carry a beeper in services, so like cardiology, neurology, primary floor teams in the hospital will page if they want a genetics consult. I then would discuss the consult and if it's appropriate with one of the doctors that I'm working with that day, and then I go and see the family on the floor in their room. So that's the primary difference between inpatient and outpatient. Inpatient, it really ranges. Some days you can have 1 page, some days you can have 10. So really when I go in, I don't know what to expect. I was on Twitter one day, and you can follow my like professional Twitter at CC with GC. And it was this one tweet of this other inpatient genetic counselor that was basically like, inpatient genetic counseling is either nothing or everything. Like you either have a day that's calm where you can get some administrative tasks done during the day as well, or you're running like a chicken all day. Like there is no in between. So yeah. So now what I think I'm gonna do is start working on this letter, and I'll come back to you after I have this phone call or a Zoom call with this prospective GC student and let you know how that went. Let's just take a quick moment to look at my work setup. So this is actually like my kitchen table, like a table that I'm supposed to eat my food at, a dining table I guess. But I just find it easier to sit here and do work, and sometimes because this table is counter height, I can actually stand and do work. So if I'm tired of sitting, I have a ring light because I noticed that when I'm on Zoom meetings, like it can look a little dark. So I started putting a ring light on while I'm on Zoom meetings because it helps to like make the lighting look better. I have some folders, some papers from work. This folder is so beat up. It's from like when I was in grad school. And yeah, everything, this is like my setup. I even have a work desk, but with a monitor where I can do double screen, but I just find it so much easier to just work right here. So this is the setup. Hi.
Hey.
How are you? Nice to meet you too. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, of course.
Working from home situation. So I was the last year before the match was implemented. So I was still, you were contacted on a Monday if you were waitlisted, accepted, rejected, and you had until that Wednesday to make your final decision. Okay. So a little bit different, a little bit, maybe a less stressful, I don't know, because you knew how the programs felt about you. But yeah. I applied personally to 8 programs, and that's because my GPA wasn't the strongest, and also I'm terrible at standardized tests. So my mentor, she was the person who basically walked me through the entire process. She said you need to apply to as many as you can for better chances. So I applied to 8. I got interviews at 4. I got interviews, yeah, so I got interviews at 4. I was waitlisted 3 out of the 4, and then I was accepted to 1. And then some of my classmates actually went straight to lab jobs, industry jobs. They've never worked in a hospital, and they do more of like sales. So traveling around, selling genetic testing to different physicians and providers. So there's a bunch of different things that you can do as a genetic counselor. So just finished that informational interview with the candidate. I think it went well. I always like talking with students, prospective students, just about my experience, how I found out about the field. And so now it's time to have some lunch. I'm hungry. It's 12 o'clock. My food was actually delivered during the Zoom meeting, which is very on par for working at home. But yeah, so that's done. After this, I have another meeting at 3. I'm gonna try to get some administrative work done in between, and yeah. Okay. Ignore my question. I was confused.
That's okay.
That meeting was short and sweet. I found out that I have to give a talk a week sooner than I thought I had to give the talk, which is always exciting for someone who hates public speaking. But the pro of a lot of things being virtual right now is that I will be able to give a short talk from the comfort of either my home or my job in a secluded area. So essentially, it's gonna be like I'm talking to myself, which now when I say it like that, it doesn't sound that bad. But anyway, it's about 3:30, like I'm done with meetings. I think that I'm quickly going to run and drop off my ballot. Everyone remember to vote. I have a mail place. I have a post office like across the street, so I'm gonna run and drop this off really quickly, and then I'm gonna come back. I'm probably just going to, there's some information I need to send to a lab, continue to work on letters, and that will be how I end my Friday workday. So again, thank you so much for watching. Remember to follow me on Instagram. Comment down below any questions you have or future videos you would like to see, and yeah, see you in my next video. Bye.